Surging Montana home prices have left residents boxed out of their towns and left many voters here in Big Sky Country begging for politicians to urgently address it. But housing affordability is also one of the most politicized issues in the state's hotly contested Senate race between Democrat Jon Tester and Republican Tim Sheehy.
People talking about housing affordability all over the country. This isn't a Montana issue, so it's a false narrative we see from Tester and Ryan running for governor and others saying, oh, this Montana housing issue is unique to our state. It's a national issue. That's the consequence of these terrible policies coming out of Biden-Harris that have driven up inflation, driven up interest rates. Insurance is another big thing. The insurance market's very challenged, so insurance premiums have gone through the roof, and often that ties into a mortgage. You can't get a mortgage without insurance. And of course, the fourth eye is immigration.
I think the issue of being able to live here and live people's lives here is penultimate to everybody. I think that, and because housing is one of the most expensive things that you'll ever encounter in your life, housing affordability leads that. And so property taxes, housing affordability, anything that affects your ability to live in the place that you love, which all Montanans, really at the core, that's what we are. We want to live in the place that we love. It's everywhere.
Local housing experts here in Bozeman say the crisis runs deeper than political talking points. It's a problem fueled by a labor shortage and a surge in population sparked by the pandemic, the state's rural opportunities, and even the hit Montana-based TV series Yellowstone.
During COVID, a lot of people were trying to escape their communities that were higher density. The show Yellowstone came on. It was a big show for a lot of people, and I think that Yellowstone portrayed a place that's fairly accurate because it's really beautiful here in Montana.
Building issues, labor shortage, it's really just made it that much harder to build the housing that we need to keep up with that increased demand.
You know, we have all price ranges here in Bozeman, Montana, but I would say that if that was a newer construction home at $500,000 prior to COVID, you could be pushing $900,000 to $1 million.
In 2019, our building costs were about $180 a square foot in the city of Bozeman. Now they're close to $400 a square. Right now, NHAB says that over 25% of a build cost goes into permit and regulatory fees.
Montana's vast public lands are off limits for housing and a coveted topic for residents. But it's another component that members of the housing industry say is being exploited for political gain on the campaign trail.
The big thing with public lands in Montana, I mean, that's everywhere that we get to go out and recreate, everywhere that we get to go and enjoy being a Montanan. It's one of the great things about Montana. So I don't know that necessarily applies to a way to solve housing crisis, because when we're talking about these public lands, we're talking about forests and mountains, everywhere that we're going to go and recreate, not the greatest part to build an apartment complex or housing.
I have never seen the 18 years that I've sold real estate here in the Gallatin Valley and in a radius of 100 miles of here, I've never seen public lands being sold in order to create residential housing.
While inflating housing prices aren't unique to Montana, it's one of the places in the country where it's been most acutely felt in recent years. In Montana, I'm Ramsey Touchberry for the Washington Examiner.